Separating the components of mixture. Well, why you need to separate any component from its mixture? Because simply you need to study it individually. What is its nature, what is its composition, what is its structure, like that, right? In our daily life, we practice a lot of conventional separation methods. For example, if you have a given a mixture of vegetables like this, how can you separate this? By simple observation like its color, its size, its shape, and sometimes smell, and you can taste it also to separate them, right? So that is what called hand picking. This is a very conventional separation method. You can do it with your naked eye physically. Okay. And another example, if you have given the mixture of sand and different kinds of rocks like this, how could you separate this? By simple sieving, right? When you sieve it according to their size, they'll separate. When come to chemistry, we deal with lot of heterogeneous components, right? So in order to separate the components from the mixture, you can use these separation methods like evaporation, sublimation, chromatography, and distillation, and some more you can see in further classes as well. Okay, these are normally used techniques for the separation of heterogeneous mixtures. So you can select the method based on the mixture you can separate. Okay, let us see the activities based on these methods. The first activity is based on evaporation. For this activity, you need to take a beaker with water and heat it using Bunsen burner in your lab. Okay, so after that, take a watch glass and put some ink. It is a dye, right? Ink from your pen or anything, or sketch pen. You can take some ink into the watch glass and continue it to heating. Okay, so when water is boiling, by absorbing this heat, what will happen? Some vapors will come out like this. What are these vapors? These are nothing but water vapors, right? Because here ink is a mixture of water and organic compounds. Water, then it had some dye compounds. Dye are nothing but non-volatile organic compounds, right? Water is volatile. It has a lesser boiling point. That's why it is evaporating as vapors. That means you are separating water from dye simply, or ink. Okay, this is what evaporation. You can compare this activity with your daily life activity like boiling milk. Milk is obviously milk, added some water, right? When you boil it, what will happen? Firstly, the water will evaporate it because it has lesser boiling point, right? Let's see another activity. Next method is centrifugation. What is centrifugation? Suppose when you take a sample in a test tube like this and it is spun rapidly in this motion, the denser particles will come at the bottom of the test tube and the lighter denser particles will remain in the top area of the test tube. This is what called centrifugation. So this is the very common thing you can observe in our daily life. So in two areas, like first one is fat from milk. When you go to the milk booth, you'll observe that every milk sample they used to separate the fat content, or they can estimate the fat content. By which method? They use the simple this kind of machine where the samples are taken in test tubes and set around like this in this way. So and when this machine is spin with a minimum speed or maximum speed of 2 to 3 minutes, what will happen in the test tube milk, no, full cream milk in the test tube, the lighter denser part, the fat content will separate here, and the remaining part will be like this in the bottom part of the test tube. Okay, so in this way fat removed from the milk using this centrifugate machine. And most common thing you can observe this is in diagnostic centers. When you give the blood samples, different kinds of samples are placed in this way, and this is what called centrifugation method used for the blood samples separation. When the samples are spinned rapidly with this one, what happened? The denser particles here, the red blood cells or the platelets will come to down part of the test tube, and they'll collect the sample from this for the further testing. So these are the major applications you can see in our daily life of centrifugation. Centrifugation is mainly based on the density of the mixtures, components of mixtures. lighter denser will go up and the more denser will be in the bottom of the this one. The next activity is based on the separating funnel separation method. That is, when you take two immiscible liquids. What is immiscible liquids? The liquids don't miscible with each other. Okay, usually one polar and another liquid is non-polar, like that. So using separating funnel, this is how a separating funnel looks like. It is the original image. Okay, so take the separating funnel and pour mixed amount of kerosene and water. You can take instead of kerosene, you can take any oil as well. Okay, this is a organic solvent and this is a water. Just take into this separating funnel and shake it for some time. Then hook to this separating funnel stand like this. Okay, so it has a stopcock at the end, right? So when you shake it and keep aside for some time and it will get stabilized for some time, then two layers will form like this. What are these two layers? One is water and another one is kerosene. Water is more denser than this oil, right? Water density is like 0.9 and 1 almost, and the kerosene is 0.8. So which has the lesser density will form a layer like this at the upper part of this flask. At the bottom part, the water will be like this. So you can separate these two liquids by using stopcock. When you lose the stopcock, the bottom layer will connected to this beaker. Just when you got this place, you just stop the stop clock and again take another beaker. Then you can have this layer. Okay, this is how you can separate two immiscible liquids using separating funnel. Next category is sublimation, separation using sublimation. What is sublimation? When a solid is directly converting into its vapor state, that is called sublimation. Usually solid converted to liquid, then it is converted to vapor state. No, but without converting into liquid, when solid is converting into directly its vapor state, that is called sublimation. The example activity is mixing up of ammonium chloride and salt, and you can separate these two things using this sublimation. For this, you have to take a china dish. Into that mixture of ammonium chloride and salt is taken. Okay, so this is the funnel and it is positioned in an inverted position. This is called, you can say it is an inverted funnel. You can place an inverted funnel like this upon the mixture, then heat it continuously. What will you observe? Ammonium chloride directly vaporized and get deposited on the walls of this inverted funnel. That means solid here, ammonium chloride solid is directly converting into vapor stage without converting into liquid. This is called sublimation. By the sublimation, ammonium chloride is separated from the salt. The salt will remain in this china dish. Okay, instead of ammonium chloride, you can you can separate camphor salt. You can take instead of camphor, you can take anthracene, naphthalene, like compounds. Okay.